Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Melody, and today we're going to be talking about 5 new life hacks basically for your kitchen to keep it clean and to keep it running very efficiently. So some of these life hacks I've mentioned in a couple of other videos, but I have 5 new ones as well. So the very first one is the most important one. It's the one that I use all of the time, and that's basically to use a plate every time before you ever start cooking. It's automatic for me. I immediately reach for a plate. Just one nice, clean, basic plate so that I can pile all of my trash and everything, scraps, whatever I'm working with. It's not cluttering the counter. It's not distracting me from the task at hand, and I can easily remove that plate, dump out all the trash, and my whole space is always clean. Every time when you start, no matter what it takes, every time when you start cooking, just drill it in your head. Grab the plate first. If you just remember one tip from this whole video, this tip will change your life. It's the one that I use all the time. So the next thing for a very clean and organized kitchen is to have a virtual shopping list. So I use the Boogie board, which I'll link down below. I really like this tablet to write down all of my shopping lists, anything that I need. I have the pen, the stylus pen right next to it, and I can write everything down so I never forget anything. I never forget anything, and that's really huge when you're going to the grocery trip to keep everything efficient. I just hit this button and it clears the whole screen for me. It makes it so easy. Another thing I like to do is I like to keep my vision board on my fridge at all times, and I regularly update the list of printouts of things like that. It's basically my condensed Pinterest board, so I always have in mind very clearly what I want to focus on. My vision board has been pared down. That keeps the things that I'm focusing on right now in very clear focus. I boiled it down to the absolute essentials when it comes to my vision board. Therefore, I can really hone in on the things that will have the biggest payoff. So having your vision board and even keeping it cubicle like the way that I did, it can really give a really clean aesthetic, but then as well it's very colorful, and it encourages you to just go out and seize all of the things that you would like to be achieving. The next tip to keep your kitchen running very smoothly is to label everything. The only thing that I don't label is basically I do not label anything that is going to go into the dishwasher for obvious reasons, but I recently labeled all of my spice jars, all of my OXO pops, and everything is so easy to find. Put it on the biggest font setting and just go to work, and always have this nearby because you can't over label. You will make your family's life so much easier, but even just yourself, you'll just see it and grab it. And so labeling and having a handy label maker nearby is very essential. You can do so much with a label maker. So this next hack has been a recent one for me, but it's absolutely changed everything. So basically I like to grab my phone and take a picture, line up the things that I am going to be making. For instance, if you're going to make homemade salsa, put all of the ingredients that you're going to be using in your homemade salsa and just take a picture before you start cooking. Same with your tacos. So one of my favorite recipes, something I cook every single week, is vegan tacos, vegan beef tacos. And basically I just grab all the ingredients and take a picture. Therefore, when you're going through the grocery store last minute or something like that, you can just pull it up. You know, you have all your favorites, you can put it as your favorites. You can pull up the recipe. When you're in the grocery store, just look at it really quickly before you check out. Make sure you got everything in the list. For me, visual is so much better. But really, if I just have that snapshot, I just look at it right before I go into the store, I have that snapshot in my head, I'm not going to forget anything. I don't even have to check it again. It's just having that visual picture. Okay, I need 7 ingredients, or I need 5 ingredients. You're never going to miss anything ever again. This one's going to change everything for you. The next thing is to use your cutting board properly. I don't know if it's just me, but I haven't been using my cutting board properly. The reason why there's a hole here is not because this is to hang something up. There's a hole here because you're going to put the ingredients through the hole so it's falling in the bowl or on the plate. It's not going all over the place. So it's just an easy tip if you're cutting up berries and stuff like that, cherries, whatever. You can just easily put it into the bowl or whatever you're working with, and it's not going to fall all over the place. You can utilize your cutting board to its maximum potential. The next thing is to have a station just for all of your appliances. I like to keep them out because I use them so frequently. I try to eat at home as much as possible, and I'm trying to eat as healthy as possible. So in the corner over there, I will have my blender, my juicer, my blender, my juicer, and my food processor. The three in the back there, I keep them side by side because they all have to do with main dishes, getting my nutrients and eating, whereas the mixer is just a luxury item. It's just something for desserts. So it's like the utility station. And that's kind of how I set up my house, is I want to make it so everything flows together, kind of like the grocery store, everything's flowing together. I want it so that it flows and it makes sense. I don't ever use that side of the counter because that's just the utility station. I take it out, I put it on the side that I'm using, dirty up that side of the counter, and then I move it back, clean it off. And it's like a system. It's like a well-oiled machine. And so everything is functioning very well. And I'm spending the maximum amount of time eating, which is the important part. So the next thing is to surround yourself with containers that you really like. Don't skimp on the containers that you really want. One of the very first purchase I ever made once I finished college was I got OXO pop containers, and that's because they look so good. And that was my very first purchase, and I still use them to this day. I also have mason jars that I use some of the smaller stuff, and I also have cork spice jars, and every time I get to use these, it's such a pleasure. You're gonna use it all the time. When it comes to the kitchen, it has to do with something you have to focus on food and health. So you're gonna be using this stuff all the time. It makes so much sense if you're gonna invest in any area in your whole house. It makes sense to do it in your kitchen. You're gonna have the pleasure of using such gleaming products, and then it's gonna be a joy to wipe it down because you get to see it and you take pride in the stuff that you have. And so in that vein, I also have this apothecary jar that I found at Walmart, and this is really great if you want to put juices, almond milk, and stuff like that. And so actually I wanted to make a recipe today with you guys. Such an easy recipe to make, and if you can make things like salsa, almond milk, apple juice at home, if you can do that stuff at home, you're going to be hauling so much less stuff up the stairs and into your house in general, because those things are mainly water. So you're paying mainly for the weight because the water is heavy, but you can get water for free in your house. So if you're making this stuff, and I'll show you how easy it is to make almond milk, it is such a breeze. But if you're making stuff indoors, not only is it higher quality, but it tastes so much better. It tastes so much better, it's fresh, and on top of it, breaking apart things into their individual components, like for instance almond milk, seeing what goes into everything is going to make you a better chef in general, because it's going to become more instinctual. You're going to have a full understanding of what creates flavor. A free cooking lesson. So today we're going to make almond milk, and it's really the easiest recipe of all time. So I've already soaked a cup of almonds on the counter, which is all you got to do. You just need a cup of almonds. I soaked it on the counter for at least 12 hours. I've done it for 24 hours, and we're going to get right into this, and I'm going to show you how beautiful it looks. It looks so good if your green juices and your almond milk and your apple juice, whatever you make all the time, is just sitting there, you know, inside of the fridge. It just looks to me so much prettier than a mason jar, and it functions just so well. You're gonna be so amazed at how easy this is to make. But basically, you just soak 1 cup of almonds overnight, drain it all out the very next day, rinse it out. Dump the 1 cup of almonds in your blender. And this is going to come in handy. This is going to come in handy later. You're going to want to use your vanilla bean paste that we used the other video, the vegan whipped cream. I'm going to put about a teaspoon in here. So I'm just going to eyeball that. I'm not going to measure it. I'm just going to put a little less than a half a cup of sugar in there, and this is optional. The vanilla and the sugar is all optional. You can just make it unsweetened, but because I always buy sweetened at the store, this is going to have it the same taste that I'm used to. So we're going to go for a little less than a half a cup here. Next thing I want to do is just get 5 cups of filtered water and put the 5 cups of filtered water on top. And what we're going to do is we're just going to blend this for about a minute on the maximum speed, and then all we're going to have to do is drain it, and it's going to be so frothy, so delicious. If you want to make it thicker, you can use less water, but this is going to taste so good. So I'm going to put it on high for a minute. You can run it for 2 minutes as well. Running at that high level of speed creates heat and stuff like that, so it gets hotter as you go on. So this has been on for about 2 minutes long, and look at how frothy it looks. We're gonna go ahead and drain all of the fragments in there with our very fine mesh sieve. When pouring, you want to go slowly. This amount of almond milk will last me probably for a week, but I'm going to be making smoothies every day with it. It's better to use it within 3 days, but I can easily keep this in the fridge for a week. As you can also freeze it. So I've been using the muffin tin whenever I'm going to freeze things. It's so good that you'll want to drink more almond milk, and it's way better than dairy. It's way better than dairy, but you'll want to drink it all the time with your cereal, or just have a glass with some cookies or something like that. And it's just so easy. It takes no time at all. You just rotate while you're sifting and it easily sifts through. You don't have to carry anything heavy, and it looks and tastes so much better than store-bought. So I hope you guys liked this video on life hacks. If you guys did, definitely share it on Facebook, because life hack videos are huge. I feel like so many people can benefit from life hack videos. So definitely share it on Facebook. Add me on Instagram, because that's where I'm always posting all my finds and all the projects that I'm always up to all the time. Add me on Instagram, and I'll see you guys next Sunday. Thank you guys so much for watching.